All right, welcome to this quantitative analysis for business decisions class. My name is Kamal Lamshro. I'm an assistant professor at the university. This is my second year here, and this is my first time teaching an online class. That's the most difficult part. Okay, um, so let's set some ground rules and let me explain you how I'm going to approach this class. What I'm going to do is every week I'm going to post a few videos. Each video is going to be about 6 to 10 minutes long, and each week I plan to post about 8 to 10 videos. So about 1 week worth of coursework. The video is going to be half and half, in the sense half the videos is going to be about theory and me talking about um, the materials, the concept behind it, and um, things associated with it. The second half, the other half, is me showing you how to work those concepts in Excel. So it's going to be screencasting things, me working on Excel, and I'll put those step by step what is to be done on the PowerPoint slides too. But I'll walk you through one problem or a couple of problems in those slides. Again, none of the videos are going to be more than 10 minutes long for the most part, and so you should be able to watch all of them in one go. About 60-70 minutes worth of video, or if you want to watch it in pieces, that's fine too. And there's a natural break, half theory and half practical anyway. I'm trying to make them accessible on your mobile devices. So at worst condition, I'm just going to post it in YouTube so that you can open it up on YouTube. All right, what else? After we've set the logistics of this class, this is not a stats class. Let me make this clear. It's not a stats class. We're gonna brush up in your stats skill that you already know, but this class is mostly about all the math you already knew, how to apply that on a business problems. So the first few weeks we'll brush up on your stats skill, and that's what introduction really is. We'll talk about what are descriptive statistics. How do we visualize them? Because as a natural statistician, what they do is, in big amount of data, they first try to visualize them and get some idea about it. We'll talk about distribution, mostly normal distribution. That's what we're going to focus on. Actually, that's the only distribution I'll explicitly explain. And other distribution, as they come along, I'll tell you, when those kind of distributions might show up. And we'll dig deeper into normal distribution. You have always used normal distribution, but I'll explain you, what it really does it mean to be normal and things like it. After that, this newfound skill, or new brushed up skill of your stats, we'll start working on some simple business problems first, the inventory models. So we'll learn what's the right amount to order, given the profit margin, given the chances, you may not sell things, and the demand projections. How do you know how much to order? Right? That's what really EOQ models are. And the other side of the question, very similar to it, is how do you know how much to produce? Well, a little bit jump tips here. The reason I have this project management part in the middle, because we want to get it out of it, because they're very simple before the class gets more mathematical. I'll give you basic insights about project management. How do you which activity has to be done, which is more critical activity, and things like it. That's what we'll learn in PERT and CPM. Then we'll go back where we left behind, regression. How do you forecast? This forecast, we're going to look examples from sales and all of the things. The idea is, given historical data or given other related variables, how can you predict what's going to be in the future? Mostly the sales, and that's what most examples is going to be. A little bit different, but very similar. Time series analysis is when time is one of the variables, how things change. Now the next part, data mining, is probably the newest thing you'll see in this class, and one of the newer things. We won't dig too deep in it. We'll talk about what's out there. We'll use Excel to do to make some classifiers, We'll probably keep it mathematically less heavy, but I want you to give an insight to you what's available, so that when you face a business problem, you know what kind of answers to look for. Again, similar idea with optimization. I will give you idea on what linear programming can be used for, or how do people do transportation planning and things like it. How things change when there is an integer. The thing is, things are discrete. You can't send a 3/4 of a truck full. You have to send one truckload. So how do things change when there is a discreteness in the problem? I'll give you a little bit of insight in simulations, and a lot of businesses seem to use this quite a bit. The end of the class, at least according to the planned part, is going to be decision analysis. You have multiple decisions in your hand. Multiple choices in your hand, which decision to take? And this can be used for any of these things. Sometimes your optimization model will tell you this is the best option available in terms of profit margins or whatever. But maybe that's too risky, So how do you use this framework of decision analysis, mostly the payoff tables and decision trees, and expected value approach, to make the best possible choices? So that's where. And again, this is my first time teaching an online class, and this is my first time having you as a student. I really don't know what to expect. What is your proficiency level when it comes to math and things like it. So we'll obviously change things around. The one thing I'm most concerned is how much time do I have to spend on introduction? How comfortable you are with this basic statistical skills is where the little murky part is, and we might, I have allocated a lot of time. 3 weeks is a lot of time, much more than I have traditionally done in a different institution. But we want to get that straight. That's the most important part. You want to be very comfortable with descriptive statistics before we go any further. If we need more time, we'll use it. We will be very comfortable with the basic steps first. All right. The next part, what you care the most probably is, how are tests and homeworks and case studies, and how's the grading going to work? Well, this is the funny part of a online class, and giving tests is difficult. So tests are going to be open book. The homeworks and case studies are mostly similar in the sense case studies are going to be a little bit more open-ended, whereas homeworks are less, open-ended, but they're going to be fairly similar. Okay, and you'll read something and you'll have to produce something. Case studies, the answers will be more open-ended. What you think kind of answers. That will be the bulk of the grade. 50% of the grade will be homeworks and case studies altogether. The exams, the midterms are not, both midterms altogether is worth only 25% of the grade. Is really like a homework or case studies. Actually, it's just homework. There will be homework or case studies in the middle of the chapters, or at the end of the chapters, homework especially. And after we have 3-4 chapters done, I'll give you homework, which will look at the midterm, which will be more. It will connect chapters. It will connect dots, and that's what really homework is gonna. The exams is gonna look like. Final exam, we'll summarize everything. We'll try to hit the major points of the whole semester. So that's all there is. It's not gonna be me posting slides and you reading the slides and me asking you questions. I'm gonna put a lot of effort, in the sense I'm gonna make a lot of videos, me explaining things and me showing you how to do things. Moreover, again, this is my first time teaching an online class. What I lack in experience in teaching online, I want to make it up by being available to you whenever you have a question. Feel free to use me any way you want. Ask questions in discussion boards. There's only one thing I want to add a little bit is, again, making video. I'm not going to make professional videos. Videos are going to be probably me making on an iPad like this, or doing a screencast on my tablet or the computer, or I have a GoPro here ready. I just couldn't use it today because I didn't have the microphone. I'm not going to edit it. I'm not. If I cough, if somebody calls me, it's that. I'm sorry, it's a distraction, but that's what we got. I would rather spend that extra time, replying your emails, answering your calls, and things like it. Well, welcome to this class, and I hope you learn.